Hello everyone, this is Changsta, and today I'll be casting a Zerg vs Terran on Lost Temple with me as the Zerg player spawning in the 9 o'clock position, and my opponent Precipice is spawning in the 3 o'clock position as Terran. This match was actually played this past weekend at the Lethal Gamers tournament in Garland, Texas. This is the losers semis match, so the winner will go on to the losers finals. This was the third and final match of the set. I just won the second game, and he decides to counter on Lost Temple. As a Zerg player, this map can kind of swing both ways. Typically, most Zerg macro players do not like to spawn in close positions, such as the 12 o'clock and the 9 o'clock positions, because there's such a short rush distance down to natural, watchtower, and then you hit his natural. So I always love to 9 drone scout. I know lots of people don't want to do that because you lose that drone in the beginning and all that extra mining time, but I like to just get that early scouting info, especially with the popularity of 2 racks opening starting to pop up in TVZ. And our Terran player right now is doing pretty typical stuff right now, starting to wall off with his racks. Nothing out of the ordinary just yet. Here I am going to 15 hatch, got my 15 hatch. Usually you want to transfer your drone to your natural around 200, 210 minerals, so your drone gets there right on time. And my drone does arrive. Typically I want to start harassing, not necessarily harassing, but just checking out his gas if he's starting to mine some gas. But I do scout that he is going 2 racks. This is a very aggressive build that can also transition pretty smoothly into mid game without much of a hitch, especially since you are not gathering any gas, so you can throw that on command center after your early harassment. Now I do see that he is mining no gas. He's pumping from 2 racks, so I'm going to just take the extra precaution and I send 2 drones down to my natural and start patrolling them right here. I know this is a little of an overkill, but it's better to be safe than sorry, as I always wanted to say. And now we have the Terran player here. He's pulled down his supply depot, and he's starting to rally all his Marines here. He's going to do a kind of a push coming in a little bit. It's very important to leave your drone at your watchtower, or at least some distance away from your natural, because this is when if he does decide to be aggressive with Marines and SCVs, you can see it coming right when he hits the midpoint of the map. This is important so you can react a lot sooner and pull, like, about, depending on how many SCVs you see, you can pull half your drones, you can pull whatever. I see that his SCV is kind of floating around here. I decided to just transfer some drones just to be safe, because I know that a 2 racks aggressive opening is coming. I see that he has pulled a few SCVs, and he's bringing his Marines now to harass my front. You always immediately throw down a spine crawler when I do see a 2 racks opening. This is just to be safe. And right now you always want to just pull a little bit. Maybe the drones with a little bit of overreaction. I should have just pulled just my Zerglings and my Queen. You always want to lead with your Queen, so your Queen can tank the damage while the Zerglings get closer. He sees that my spine crawler is finished and decides to pull back from here on out. And once I've secured this natural, I always start getting my gas, and this was probably around 21, 22. It really depends on how aggressive his push was. If I see at least 8, 10 SCVs, I probably wouldn't be getting this as fast, because you gotta defend the all-in and everything. You're not really playing for a mid game at that point, unless the Terran player could always be a little tricky. Decide to feint a all-in and just go back and mining, and just to screw up your Zergling drone count. Our Terran player here has expanded during that push, and then immediately pushed to 2 gas. This is very typical when you do a 2 racks opening. This is so you can get 2 bases going much faster and aggressive at the same time. This is why a lot of Terran players love doing this. Decides to throw down 2 bunkers at his front, and now starting to poke out a little bit again. This is not necessarily to attack, but he may be doing so in the near future anyways. But this is just to clear his watchtower, also make the Zerg feel uncomfortable, and maybe force the Zerg player to produce a few more Zerglings than he wants to. Right now, I always do Zergling speed first, and then my next 100 gas will go in the lair, and I start mining another 2 gas. Because my mindset, I'm the greediest player ever. I love going mutas. I feel like mutas are your best option against, especially in cross positions such as this, or even the 3 o'clock and a 6 o'clock position where you have such a short distance between the main bases, separated by a gap right here. It gives you a lot of bouncing around between the 2 bases. But one cross position is also very viable with muta harass. This is so you can attack here, fall back really easily, and if he decides to counter attack you, you can see it, and you can immediately fall back and help defend your natural yourself. Now I do see that he's produced a large amount of Marines, and only Marines, so I decided throw down his Baneling Nest. This Baneling Nest can come a little earlier. You can never be too safe with that, but I tend to be a little greedy, and I love to get my Spire up as soon as possible. This is always a good technique to do. I like to put my Overlord pooping creep at some corner and kind of try to hide it with an Overlord. Put your Spire right beneath it, so even if he does scan, he might not see it. Every info is very critical. This is a little bit of a mistake. I see his Marines coming, but I didn't pull soon enough. Luckily I have my Baneling Nest, and I immediately morph some Banelings. This is kind of I really pushed my greenness to the limit. I had to pull some drones just to tank some of the damage. Came back, my Zerglings pop, push him back, and discourage him with my Banelings. Here he's just trying to micro. He has no stim right now, so he can't be incredibly aggressive. I'm just allowing my Spine Crawler to tank some damage, discourage him. Now my Banelings are in the field, and this will completely kill his attack. And now once again I'm safe. And I know that I just killed a majority of his Marines, so I don't have to really worry about any sort of aggression in near time. And now in my production tab I have only Mutalisk building, and probably only Mutalisk and drones for the next few minutes, because I know he can't do any sort of aggression. It's always very, very advantageous to keep an Overlord over their natural cliff right here. It never hurts, because when they can't see it from this view, but you can see a lot of info. This by itself is good info to know, because he's not going to be particularly aggressive in the early game. If you see especially if you see 2 bunkers and him trying to wall off like this, you're not going to see any 1 base all-ins. Here now I am being a bit aggressive with my Mutalisk. You always want to keep the Terran on his back though. He did scan and see my Spire earlier, so that was a bit of a blunder. I can't maximize my damage with my Mutas, but at this point I'm going to try to take my 3rd. Right now just kind of sitting comfortably, because I know he can't really move out because I have Mutas covering around. He's placing some pretty well placed turrets around the map. This one I don't like quite too much, but these are pretty good. This one's a little further out. I actually kind of like this one around this area right here. Too many Terrans love to put a turret here and here, but then